Well, thank you guys for coming. We're going to go ahead and get started with our meeting. I just want to give a little background to our Beautifully Unblemished and who we are. Our mission is to increase public awareness of vitiligo and offer support services for those affected by vitiligo and their families through education, healthcare, and outreach. Our vision is to inspire, empower, and encourage every individual affected by changes in appearance from their vitiligo. So Beautifully Unblemished provides support for individuals to share their personal experiences, feelings, coping strategies, and gain firsthand information about vitiligo and treatments. We service the entire state of Florida via social media platforms, our face-to-face meetings, which are held in the Central Florida area quarterly, Tampa, Orlando, Lakeland, and will be expanding to South Florida in the winter of 2022. So February of 2022, we will be having our first vitiligo meeting. We have currently over 180 members throughout the state of Florida. And our ultimate desire is to see correct insurance labeling, a need for vitiligo to be treated as a disease and not as cosmetic, funding for research to help find a cure, funding for our support group programs to be able to assist those individuals with counseling, outreach, communities, and schools. So thank you guys for attending our meeting today. And first up, we are going to hear from Mr. Tino Patel. Let's give him a hand as he comes and shares his story with us.
Good afternoon. I'm Tino Patel, and first of all, want to thank you for inviting me here to speak. Don't know what to say, but I'm really touched that I'm part of this group now and able to share my story on what has happened. So back when I was young, one of my skin spot on my leg turned white. And that time I was 6, 7 years old, didn't pay any attention. It disappeared. As the time passed by, when I was 24, spot appeared on my face, and then 6 months later, or maybe 4 months later, it disappeared again. And then a few years down the road, I developed a couple more spots on my leg and also on my back. And then fast forwarding about in 2014, all of a sudden the outbreak happened. And then after 2016, it accelerated tremendously. And my whole body kind of started turning all, deep pigmentation started happening then. However, back in 2014-15, yes, I was kind of worried, trying to seek treatment. Went to quite a few dermatologists, quite a few across the United States. However, the treatment I went through, there was like the UVA rays, and then you take the pills, the tropical cream, and all kinds of different things I've tried. It was a little different, and I didn't find any success in it. Some people say they find success in it, but I was not able to find any success in it. However, after trying that for about 4 to 5 years, I gave up and I said, well, life has to move on. And with confidence, I kept on moving with my business and whatever that I do. And that's what I did. And today, I'm here supporting this group. And the reason, and their mission, and the reason would be that people like us, I would say people like us, because we are unique, we are very powerful and different. Sometimes people love us, even though we have different texture. But guess what? Even just yesterday, I was standing at a Publix line and the girl over there says, "Oh, I love what you have." It's a natural art. So I'm like, wow, it gives me chills right now. So I started looking at it positive way. And when you start looking at things positive way in your life like this, automatically things turn around, you feel relaxed, anxiety goes away, you feel more confident, and then you keep on doing whatever you need to do. And that's what we did. That's what I did. To make the long story short, coming back to this organization, and one of the reasons for me to come and support and be part of this and spread the awareness would be that when I had vitiligo, there was no support group. I had to do my research on the internet by myself, whatever the information I find, whatever people tell me to change diet or take medicine or do this. I tried different things from different parts of the world, whether it be Germany or India or Mexico or wherever that may be. So I would try different things, but I did not have a support group or a system to go to gain some knowledge. So with this organization, I think what we should be able to pass is a center point for our organizations to spread the word, spread the awareness, and give them support system, the people who has vitiligo. So you're not the only one out there, just remember that. There are other peoples out there with same problems. And the biggest issue that people have when they have vitiligo is they lose self-confidence. And biggest thing, and they get into panic and anxiety because they are not confident enough because they look different. However, if I rewind my memories back, there are models with vitiligo. They're free, they're happy, they're doing it. To me, I'm a businessman, I have 10 different businesses. I'm not afraid to do business and face anybody. So for me, I've been with the US presidents, to governors, to mayors, to sheriffs, to everybody in this world, all the powerful leaders. And I've faced them. I've done fundraisers for them, raisers for them. I've approached people. I've done a lot of nonprofits. Why? Because I started changing my mindset. Once you change your mindset and you say, this is what you want to do, this is your goal, this is where you want to reach, it's possible. Put all that aside, forget your vitiligo, keep moving forward. And that's the confidence and that's the mental health that everybody that needs to go through. I went through my phases of ups and downs also, yes, obviously. But today where I am, nothing can beat me. I'm just keep moving forward. So once again, thank you for this opportunity to speak, and hopefully I covered a couple good points, and we go from there. Any questions? Questions would be good so I can go in detail because I wasn't even prepared to come here and talk. There were two other speakers and I'm talking now, so.
So I have a question.
Sure.
What was your initial response when you were diagnosed with vitiligo?
So the question is, what was my initial response when I was diagnosed with vitiligo? So first of all, first thing was like, oh my God, it's happening to me, right? That's what happens to everybody. So when that happened on my leg, what I did was, to cover it, I tattooed it. I bought some cosmetic creams. And you can see the tattoo is still there, but now everything else is white. And my tattoo stayed. It was that small, right? So to cover it, mentally, you just don't want any spot on you. Because I'm not the tattoo guy. I don't like tattoo. But guess what? To cover that, I got a tattoo done right on my shin. Oh, that hurt. Because it's right on the bone, right? But anyway, so that's what the problem is. And then for a while, when it started happening on my face, I used to get makeup, cosmetic to cover me. And that's what happened. But then it increased more, so it is what it is. So I used like a quarter of the makeup and that's it. And after that, I said, no, it's okay. I just have to be myself and be me. Focus on what I need to do and what I need to accomplish while I'm on this earth. That was my reaction. Okay, thank you. Anything else? Thank you.
I always love when we have a male's perspective, someone that has vitiligo, and men are different from women because as women, we want to cover. We don't want anybody to know we have it. Because I remember years, I think I did it for 3 years, I covered. And that was probably the hardest thing to do. Get up every morning. It took me about an hour and a half to get my face covered every morning because it was on my ears, so I was trying to cover my ears. I was just trying to cover everything. But after 3 years, I was like, okay, I'm done. They got to take me for who I am. I don't want to cover anymore. And then I think it was in 2019, I lost all the color just about in my face. So I am, like Tion said, I'm almost 85% white. So the only color I have left, like he pointed his legs out, they're all white. I still got a little of my black. So I'm trying to hold on to that color. But that's pretty much all I have left. But at some point, in life, we just have to be comfortable with who we are. And this is one of the reasons I founded Beautifully Unblemished, because there's so many individuals that are living with vitiligo that don't know how to cope with the changes that their body is going through and the skin changes. Because I've had individuals, matter of fact, just this year, if you see my arms, you see these little spots. These reoccurred just like within 3 months ago. So these little spots reoccurred, and I was like, my vitiligo is coming back. And I was like, my skin color is trying to come back, and then I noticed about a week ago that it was leaving again. I was like, come on, spots, what you gonna do? So I am very, very happy, and I'm very passionate about vitiligo because of the changes that I went through in my own life and dealing with vitiligo. So I am very passionate, and it is something that has become a part of me now. It is a part of me. So everywhere I go, I'm meeting individuals that have vitiligo or that have family that have vitiligo, and we just want to make a difference and give individuals that are living with vitiligo a better quality of life. And that's what's important, a better quality of life. I see my second speaker has come in. We'll give her time to get herself together, and I am going to do a drawing real quick. Okay, so each meeting we try to do some type of raffle, whether it's gift cards, whether it's something inspirational. We try to do a raffle because we like, giving. We're givers, so. We got 3 people here. I'm not even going to do a raffle because these two are my friend and my sister. They here for support. They're here for support. They family, and I only have 3. I'll take care of them later. So thank you, Denise. Thank you, Carol. And thank you, Tina. Charge it to my head, not to my heart. So before I bring Denise up, I met Denise last year at the World Vitiligo Day event in Orlando, and she was one of the speakers. And we have connected. We've got a little bit more connecting to do. But we have connected through Representative Daisy Morales. So I'm really excited about our connection. And Carol Kennedy reached out to me via internet messenger on Facebook. So thank you for coming. I appreciate you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. In the same spot. Wow. Wow. More spots. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. And Greg is such an inspiration. He is such an inspiration. He actually has headed up, we did a Vitman chat via Zoom, and all the men that had vitiligo attended that. So I think it was like 8 or 9 of them that were on that call, and he was the facilitator. And they talked about, I tried not to listen in on them, but they talked about some deep stuff. I was like, whoa. Because then, men, I can't relate to men. So I needed men in the group to be able to relate to the men, because I don't know what it's like as a man to have vitiligo, but I know what it's like as a woman to have it. And so thank God for Greg. But I do have, before you guys leave, because I always forget, Blue Lizard is a sunscreen protection company, and they donated lots of sunscreen to us. And if you have vitiligo, I am making a plea that every day you apply your sunscreen, because those burns are ugly and they hurt. They hurt. So I have some samples. Please take as many as you need. If you go out on our social media page, Vit Friends, our Facebook, that's a closed Facebook page, and it's just for individuals that have vitiligo and their families. Now, our public page is Beautifully Unblemished. So there's 2 different pages, because there's information we may want to share on our closed page that we can't share for the public. You're a member of it. Yep, you're on that one. Vit Friends. It's Florida Vit Friends. And then the other one is Beautifully Unblemished. And then we have our Beautifully Unblemished bracelets. So if you guys would take one and spread the awareness. But I'm putting a plug in for sunscreen, because some of us think that when we go out, we don't need to cover. And we need to cover. And I'm going to be the first witness to tell you why we need to cover. I received 3rd-degree burns for not wearing sunscreen. I went to a Bucks game. I had jeans on, I was covered, and I burnt through the jeans. 3rd-degree burns. Yes. So it is very important. Now I try to wear my I'm not going to sit here and say I wear it every day, but I try to apply some form of sunscreen if I'm going to be out in the sun, because it also, if we're getting burnt like that, that can cause cancer. And we don't want that, because we already got vitiligo. We don't need anything else. So I am encouraging you to wear, and find what works for you. I've got 5 different sunscreens. I've got one for my face, and I usually burn here and back here. So I'm constantly spraying. And they hurt. When I tell you they hurt, those burns, they hurt. My last time I got burnt, I love the beach. I love water, and it was an overcast. So I thought, oh, there's no sun out. I don't need any sunscreen. And when I tell you guys, my sister can attest to that, I was burnt. I mean, like serious, had to go to the hospital because I was burnt so bad. I couldn't put clothes on. I couldn't stand anything to touch it. So I am an advocate now of Blue Lizard sunscreen, because I want you guys to make sure that you're covering those spots, especially where you're white, because that's where it burns the worst, the white spots. So please, please, please cover. Before I sit down, does anybody have any questions about Beautifully Unblemished and what we do? That's okay. Yes. So, Beautifully Unblemished, because of COVID 2020, we shut down everything and everything went to Zoom. So, we do have quarterly meetings. We try to rotate because we're the only support group in the state of Florida. So, we try to rotate between Central Florida, which is the Orlando area, Lakeland area. Then we go to the on the west for Tampa, Clearwater, St. Pete area, because we get people from Gainesville, Fort Myers, as far as Naples, that come to those meetings. And in February, we will be journeying down to South Florida. So that's the Boca Raton, Fort Lauderdale, Miami. Did I miss Delray Beach, West Palm Beach? We'll be journeying down there in February on the 19th. That's a Saturday, to host a meeting there because there's quite a few folks down there that are part of our group, and they've been waiting now for 2 years for our meeting. Each time we schedule a meeting, a tornado hit in my community that I couldn't get out, so we had to cancel that meeting, and then COVID hit. So we haven't been able to go. But we are back now face to face, having our meetings. And because of COVID, we are kind of limited on our events, only because there's still people that don't feel safe. And we do have an elderly population. Our membership goes, age-wise, goes from 5. Our youngest is, no, I'm sorry, we just got one that joined last week, 3. We have a 3-year-old, and our oldest is 80 years old. Several 80-year-olds we have in our group. We're very diverse. As you can see today, we have Hispanic, Indian, we have Jamaican, we have Haitian, the whole spectrum. So we're very diverse. We have quite a few children. I think we have probably about 25 children. And then the rest are children. Our total membership is about 180. About 180. That's statewide. So we have representatives from the Jacksonville area all the way down to Miami, all the way up to the Pensacola, Tallahassee, Tampa, St. Pete. So we're pretty much everywhere. There's a representative everywhere. And this past year, we were able to get proclamations we got 3 proclamations. And then Representative Daisy Morales was able to pass a resolution that World Vitiligo Day for June 25th. So we received a copy of that as well. So our efforts right now is to expand our membership, to bring awareness to those areas like Orlando area where we're kind of we're lacking in that area of representation. So that's our main focus right now. And we hold educational forums, we do seminars, we do workshops. Our last seminar was Empower You, and that was built based on mental health. We touched on mental health. We touched on the beauty, how to properly apply your makeup if you want to cover. And we also did some forums where people were able to share their vitiligo journeys and what they struggled in. Because if I share my story, it's going to help somebody. If you share your story, it may help me, because I may be experiencing something that you've never experienced. And then next week you experience it, and now you know how to deal with it. So that's what we're all about. Right now we're working on our programs. We do have a board. We are a nonprofit organization. We are a 501c3. Yay! So, so we are legit. We just need the funding to match our legitness. Yeah, we are working on programs, developing programs. We have a board. Our board is Scott Walters. He's a CPA from Boca Raton. We have an attorney. Her name is same name as mine, but she pronounces it Tonja. She is an attorney. That's her profession. And then we have a family member whose husband has vitiligo. She's our secretary. Her name is Kasha. And we have Senator Janet Cruz's daughter, Anna Cruz, who is one of our board members as well. So we are very diverse in our board. We're moving forward now to develop some programs because we have a need. for programming. We do have a medical advisor on staff. His name is Dr. Seth Foreman. He is out of Tampa. He has his own dermatology clinic and research clinic in Tampa. And he funds us. Yes, he funds us very well. So he ensures that we have the funding that we need. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that we are working on. I just met with the Florida Dermatology Society of Florida, and I am working with them to ensure that when our patients or whoever goes to a dermatology clinic and they're diagnosed with vitiligo, that they're not just brushed off, that they're given our information, that we exist, and then we could take it from there. Because most dermatologists, they're going to diagnose you, and they're going to be like, there's really nothing you can do about it. They're very, how do I want to put it? Very minimal information that they're going to give you. One, they don't really know a whole lot about it. Two, they don't know the research that has been done because that's not their field of expertise. So that's why we want to get into those clinics. We want our name in those clinics. We want our information in those clinics. So when individuals are diagnosed, like last week I had two parents call me, a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old diagnosed with vitiligo, and the dermatologist just brushed them off. And the parents freaking out. And then they called me and I'm like, oh, call the right place. So, that's what I do on a daily basis. I was telling Mr. David back there that it's a full-time job running a nonprofit organization. Plus I work full-time. So I'm very passionate about vitiligo because I've seen so many individuals that have just been brushed off when they go to the dermatologist. I was one of those persons. I never got any information about my vitiligo. I never got a pamphlet that tells me what vitiligo is, nothing. I had to go out on the web and search. And there's a lot of misinformation on the web. So we have to be very careful, with what information we give out. So at this time, I am going to give the floor to Miss Denise so that she could share her story. But one other thing I wanted to let everybody know, if you didn't know, today is World Kindness Day. So that's why our theme is kindness begins with me, because sometimes we're our worst critic. We're hard on ourselves, but we want to show ourselves some kindness. And I do have an activity that we are going to do. So as soon as Miss Denise gets done, we'll do our activity and we're going to wrap it up, okay? Thank you, Miss Denise.
Oh, this is Jan. He's the hotel owner.
Oh, nice to meet you.
I know you wanted to meet him, so I was leaving, so I said, say hello. This is my good friend. I don't even talk on the
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. No, they're like in. And I was saying it's Tonja, right? Tonja. Okay. Yeah. I was like Tonja. It's the Spanish in me. So hi everybody. I'm Denise Diaz. Thank you for having me and just having grace with me. So a couple of things. One, in my professional capacity, I run a nonprofit like Tonja, and I'm the co-director, so it's two of us, and then I sit I'm national board member. I'm the chair of our national network of Jobs with Justice. And so we do advocacy work for workers. So right now it's been a lot with workers. Right now we have people going on strike. We have people that are still navigating unemployment, everything with COVID. So it's been a lot. So I was just naming that. But so I say that to say that I'm oftentimes like this public figure. I'm always out there speaking and stuff. And so it's been a real journey with my vitiligo. So I was diagnosed barely that experience. I think I was 15. I think the first one was here. And it was Michael Jackson disease. That's what I was told I had. And even back then, like, people were like, so I'm 40 now, people were like, that's not real, because Michael had just come out with it, and people were like, so it's like, how do you get diagnosed with something that people even question, right? So at that point, all throughout the years, that was all I had. There was that one spot. The stigma, I think, from my family was a lot. And the pressure of like, oh, if I get more spots, you know, impressionable about my beauty as a young person. You know, but it wasn't, and I tried different treatments. You know, my mom would network, and there's a treatment in Cuba. I found this Argentinian doctor that put me on tons of vitamins. It was like a whole thing, like treatment, and just like, yeah, just like, okay, just praying I don't get any more spots. Well, then fast forward, I turned 25, and then also, yeah, so, and not a lot of education. I think that's the biggest thing. So, but I could still not, and I was having other health issues. I have 2 autoimmune diseases. I have thyroid and severe anemia. So over time, they've connected my lack of absorbing vitamin B12. So it's a thing that there's research around. All that to say, come 25, I have my first child, trying to get into my career, and stress is more upon me. So I start to get more on my hands. That's where the eyes, very visible. So that's when it was like, okay, now I really can't hide. I'm living with vitiligo. You know, like, I manage, now it's visible. So there, lots of unwanted attention. I feel like people, I don't know if you experience this, they're like, oh yeah, there's makeup for that. Like, you can cover, you know, and they tell you, and you're like, like, that's not, I'm just trying to get groceries. I don't need, yeah, it's a lot of that. Also, just, so lots of unwanted attention. Again, no education. I felt like I always had to wear makeup. That's not what I'm, you know, I'm a new mom. So it just, and then I got severe anemia. So it was, there was a place where I really had to find that empowerment. Oh, Daisy. Hi. So all that to say, I think it's been a journey, and now where I'm at with it is, I don't feel, now I tell you the liberation side of it, how I'm living on this liberated journey. And it's taken a lot around beauty and seeing what beauty means for me. It's taken a lot around being empowered of like, yes, I have vitiligo and I'm unique in that way. And, you know, being empowered around my health. Now I talk to the doctors and say, you know, this is what I need. These are the types of creams and lotions and stuff. I need you to pay attention to my skin. Refer me to a dermatologist, all those things. Like, I'm trying to like advocate for myself. And then, yeah, taking care of myself. And now when people come up, just last week, I was in Lakeland and the nurse was my dad. She was like, oh, my son has what you have. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah, it's a cute little birthmark. And I'm like, but that's not vitiligo. That's cute though. And we can, you know, whereas before I would just sit there and just let them say whatever they wanted. I don't know, it's become like a trend too, where people are like, oh, and one lady was like, I love your look, the look. I was like, yeah, it's a condition. And yeah, it's not a look. At first I thought she meant the hair. No, she's talking about she's like, if I could do that, I would. I'm like, you don't have to, and you shouldn't. Yeah, so right, it's become, and I met people like Daisy, and just slowly but surely, it's not a secret, right? It's like, this is who we are, we're unique, and we can support each other, and we, an awareness. And I think, yeah, this past year, I will say with Daisy, with the recognition, as well as with like Beautifully Unblemished, like that was the first time I got a pamphlet, and it was from you, right? And then talking about, I'm like, yeah, I get these like dry spots, and she's like, yeah, that happens, and I just felt so affirmed. I literally came home from that event, and I just felt so affirmed and supported, and that's why we've stayed in touch, because had I had that when I first came into this, like, I'd be a different person. I really would. And I feel like I got there over time, but now I'm just so grateful, and like, we need the awareness. We need the like advocacy. We need all these things and the affirmation. Like, this isn't anything to be ashamed of, right? And so it's like these support groups are what's gonna get us there. And so I just want to name that and thank you for that, because that was, transformative moments. That was one of them. I'm like, I wear my bracelet proudly. I don't have it now because it was a job, but I wear it and I tell people, and like the sunscreen, yeah, I've gotten burned here, and it was so painful, and I really didn't understand that this skin is more vulnerable because it doesn't have melanin. It is, yeah, and just to do that. And so I just end there, and whatever I could do to be in service around organizing money for this cause, anything I can do for awareness. Now I'm that person that's like, there's a group, a Florida-wide group, let me give you on Facebook. Because if we can just like empower people from the minute they get diagnosed, that they really, and support the family around them, I think like we can really like do so much. So I'll just stop there, but folks had questions? Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Denise. So thank you for sharing, Denise. That was wonderful. Very good inspiration. Because we all have our own personal stories. We can share, and some things we have experienced and some things we have not, especially for those of us that have been diagnosed for some years. There's things that we can share. I'll tell a little story before we move with our activity. I'm in the middle of career change right now, and I've been working at the school teaching kindergartners. Lord help me. And I was in the cafeteria the other day, and there was 2 fifth graders, and they didn't know I could hear them. And they were talking as I walked into the room, and I sat beside them, and the little girl looked at her classmate. She said, "Is she white or is she black? What color is she?" And I started laughing because they didn't know I could hear them. And I said, "I'm black." And they were like, "You are? You black?" And I thought it was so funny that I approached the principals at that school to ask if I could speak to all the kids and bring awareness to vitiligo so that they would understand this is vitiligo. And as soon as I said I had vitiligo, the little girl said, "Oh, that's what Michael Jackson had." And I was like, okay, well, she knows. Okay, she knows. But it was just so funny, because I get now, the whiter I get, the more I'm getting mistaken for being Hispanic. And I have them come up to me and they just start speaking Spanish, and I'm like, I don't speak Spanish. And they're like, "You you're not Spanish? I'm like, no, I'm not Spanish. But it's just so funny. I get a kick out of it. I laugh about it all the time. But I wanted to take this time because I have an activity for us to do. Real quick, if you have a pen, you can take out a pen. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick someone in the room and we're going to show them some kindness. And like Denise said, we need affirmation. We need to be affirmed. And having that affirmation, it starts with us. Telling ourselves when we look in the mirror that we're beautiful, that we're worthy, and that we're not, as for years I thought, oh my God, I feel so ugly, and I did, I'm not gonna lie, I felt ugly, because the way my spots were on my skin, I felt. I'm gonna let you choose whatever card you want to choose to share with somebody here in the room. This. So you can choose whichever card you would like. I'm gonna go around. And we're gonna share. And give someone a card in the room, and we are going to give them some hope. We're gonna give them some kindness, a little kindness. I'll come back around with some envelopes. Tino, we have Cheryl, we have Pamela, Carol, Daisy, and Denise, and Tonja. Would you guys like to do this? I don't know if you guys that. So you guys want to? No, just pick one person. One person. Well, it's not a card, so whoever you want to give a card to. Whoever. It can be one person, two person, however you want to do it. It's totally. It's enough cards to go around. two lefties here. Yes, yes, yes. Denise.
That's a whole other support group.
I know, right? Yes. We rule the world, though. Yes. Anybody else in the envelope?
Yes.
I have plenty more here. I guess the reason why they gave us these little sticky things is not so good. Everybody got some stickies? Oh, I got more over here. How many envelopes you need? Two. Oh, no, I got envelopes. So while everyone is finishing up their cards, I will not leave without Miss Daisy coming up and bringing us some love.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for coming today. It's a very special day. I want to thank Tonja for always being persistent, being dedicated to this group and supporting every effort to bring awareness And I also want to thank John for allowing us to have this opportunity in this location, and Tino for speaking and sharing his story, Denise for speaking and sharing her story. But most importantly, that we're all here united for a reason, to bring awareness and to not let this defeat us. It all strengthens us and keep us stronger. Because when we work together, what we're doing is building strength and more wisdom to empower ourselves. And now that Tanya's in school, she's getting more educated now, teaching our little ones that this is not, they're not alone. So, God is so amazing. He brings little gifts of wisdom and of strength, that we have that gift that He has given us. He has given us a gift, but we have to figure it out. But He has ways of doing that. And I'm so happy that you're sharing that story, because I'm going to do an event next week, Friday, with little ones. Yeah? Okay, wonderful. That too. Because we need to bring that awareness and start that new generation that's coming up, because they don't know how to overcome these little doors that shut, but there's doors that will open, and we have to show them and learn that they have to be strong and understand that we are here for them. We're guiding them. But let me tell you what happened today. Today was a very interesting day. Today was Veterans Day, and I didn't realize that we had this also going on. And I mentioned to Tanya, I might be late, and that's what happened. So I was at the Veterans Day parade, and it was a very blessed day because the day was beautiful, and it was a good turnout. But one thing happened. The vehicle that I was supposed to get on didn't turn on. Yeah, it didn't turn on. After we decorated, we put it on, and put it on Facebook. All of a sudden, it didn't want to turn on for some strange reason. The owner didn't know that the key, with all this technology, he didn't know that he had to have the key to turn it. And he had the key hidden, and then he was frustrated. So we went walking in the parade. So we went walking, and it was funny because when we got we were going to walk, there was a small little trailer. The people already had gone ahead of us, so we had to catch up to them. So they gave us a ride, me and my staff. And we were riding on the little trailer, and we were going, and I was with my flag, and we were waving to the people until we caught up. And that was so funny because when we got there, when we finished the parade, when we got back to where our car was, it started. And then so what we did was, let's get back in the parade. So we went back to the parade. So we got a chance to repeat the parade with the vehicle. So we went to the parade, and then we went, and then here I am. That's what happened. You see how God works? He works in mysterious ways. He gave me the opportunity to show twice. So that's something to think and be grateful that every day is a blessing. No matter what challenges we face, we need to always think positive, always think that, God's in control. So, and I'm glad I made it here. Thank you, Tanya. I can't tell you more than what you're doing, Just keep doing what you have to do, and, God's in control. So he's gonna guide us well. Remember that. So thank you.
So my apologies. This is Representative Daisy Morales for the state of Florida, District 48. District 48. So we wanted to make sure that we recognize her as Representative Daisy Morales.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
So does anybody have any questions before we wrap it up? We're getting ready to wrap it up. Our next event is going to be December the 18th. It's going to be in Lakeland. It's a Saturday. It's from 1 to 3. It's a painting event for men and women with vitiligo or without vitiligo. The artist, our teacher, will, direct us. So if you don't have vitiligo, she's going to show you how you can paint without your spots. Or if you want to paint with your spots, she's going to show you how to do that as well. So no one is left out. Anyone can attend. The price is $35 a person, and Beautifully Unblemished will be providing refreshments. So if you want to attend, it's on our Facebook page as well. So there is not a link to pay. What we'll do is I'll get you the information of the person that you need to contact, because it's held at the City of Lakeland, one of their recreation parks. They have to be the ones that take the money and the phone, because you have to register with them. They register you one time and then you're in their system. So I'll have that link. I just didn't put it up just yet for the calls. But this is our next event, and it's on December 18th. And then after that, our next event will be in February the 19th, and the location is being determined. One thing I forgot to mention, we have 4 medical interns that work with our organization. They are going to school to be dermatologists. So they are the ones that are like my hands and feet for social media, for any type of information that we need. And within the next couple of weeks, we will be sending out a link that we need everyone to fill out this link. And the reason we have this link is because this past year when I was being interviewed by media, they asked specific questions. They wanted to know our demographics, how many women are in the group, how many children, how many, the ages, not so much your medical information. None of your medical information will be given out. It's just they want demographics, so that when I'm meeting with grantees that we want to get grants, they want to know what your demographics. They want to know, what location, your members are located in. They want to know how many Caucasian, how many, Black, how many, So we have this form. The interns created this Google Doc form for us to send out to our members for you to fill out. So once you start seeing it, just fill it out. We do have a distribution site. Everyone should have gotten an email a couple of weeks ago about this meeting. So we try to do something at least once a month, sending something out. And the interns are now working on our winter edition of our newsletter. So that'll go out as well. And it's always on Facebook, on our Florida Vet Friends page and our website. So I have information up here. If you guys would just grab some information real quick. We're going to take a group picture. We normally do two pictures. We take one, the people with vitiligo, and then one of everybody that attends. So if we can come up, is this area right here good? Okay. Mr. Davis is going to take our picture for us. And I want to thank Mr. David and Ms. Thomas for coming out. I had no idea that they would be coming out, and I really do appreciate you guys for coming. So we can stand and we're not gonna take a break. I'm there. Yeah, let's take a picture. You come on this side. Pam, you could come on this. I know you don't like taking pictures. But I see you taking it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
So when we take our group picture, maybe we could put our hands or our arm, I don't know, we'll do something.
Yeah, we got
Something kind of snazzy.
Yeah, they'll see.
Show a little bit of skin.
That is just crazy to me, but okay.
And that's the only place? And then
I have a spot, it looks like a island,
oh,
right
wow,
here,
wow.
and here, and I have a spot.
Coming in your ear. Okay. Wow, interesting.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is like that.
Usually
That-
symmetrical.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, okay. You ready?
Uh-huh. There's like 3 little groups here, right?
They're having a casting call for singles,
Oh, really?
and then they're doing a casting call for
Transvestites.
transvestites. Yeah, transgender.